Alexa, turn off the game room. The Megacade and the V-Pin will continue their soft shutdown. Yes, sir!
Let's f***ing lose.
What's up, guys? I am doing a little project today that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've actually been dreading doing it. And that is to automate everything in my game room with Alexa. I want to be able to give one command, turn everything on, and do the same command to turn everything off. There will be some grouping involved in all that, but we'll get to that in a little bit. First things first, here's what I bought. These are Momentary smart switches that I bought on Amazon. They're about 12 bucks a piece. I think it's Macozy or MH Cozy, whatever. But you also have a manual button on the top if you want to use it. So I suggest you mount these somewhere where you can get to them easy. But I'm going to go ahead and sync them to the app and get them up and running on Wi-Fi and set the voice commands. And then I have 4 more plugs here. Those are also Alexa enabled smart plugs, but I got them because I want a separate remote. So if something stupid's happening, I can still turn all the machines on and off with the same stock switches that are on it, but I also have the luxury of using voice for all these things. So my thought process was I have 4 momentary press smart switches. Now I'm going to have 4 momentary press machines in my game room that turn on and off with one touch. Megacade, my V-Pin, and then 2 racing cabs. That's going to be for each one of them. And then I also have these 4 plugs because I have a dartboard, I have a neon sign, I have my Golden Tee PGA, and I have my Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. And all of those work with a regular switch style plug, which is meant to stay on once you send the command. These literally just make the contact and let off so that it's like you momentarily press something. So anyway, that's what I'm working with. Let's go ahead and get some of this stuff synced up, and I'm going to show you guys what I did and show you how it works. All right, so I already have one of these little dudes synced up, and I have took a piece of tape and wrote Megacade on the side so that I put some Scotch tape there so I don't have to actually write on it. I'm going to be mounting this on the back of my machine. I'll show you where. And all you do is you take these 2 outer terminals here. You're going to jump out of your soft touch power button on the top of your machine, wherever it's at, and just run 2 cables right into the outer 2. That's going to make the connection to turn it on and off. So we already have this one synced with the app. I have it synced with all of my Echo devices, so let's give it a shot. Alexa, turn on the Megacade. Okay, so you heard it click momentarily and shut off. That's going to turn the machine on. Alexa, turn off the Megacade. And there you have it. So when you want to shut it down, you just tell it, it shuts it down. If I want to do the manual press, so you can see there's a manual press, and you can also use the regular switch or the button that comes on the machine. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and connect one of these guys to the, I think it's the eWink app, or eWeLink, E-W-E-L-I-N-K, whatever. Download it in your app store, Google Play, whatever. And then you're gonna power this bad boy on. You're just gonna use a standard, I'm using a AC adapter right here, to a micro USB. So that's gonna give it the power. So you do have to have that plugged in near or in the machine. I'm gonna show you how I do that. And we're gonna go ahead and add this to the app. So you can see right here, I have the app open. This is my old phone. We're gonna hit that plus button at the top. We're gonna add a device. And then let's do quick pairing, whatever. All right, so you're gonna see that it requires you to get on your 2G network. So I just went ahead and changed over to the 2G version, and we should be good to go here. So let me put in the password real quick. All right, so now we are searching for the device. Hopefully it pops up here in a second. You can see that this is, I don't know if you're gonna get a look in there, but there we go. So now it's doing a slow blink and it's trying to connect. Usually it does 2 red blinks and then a long one, and that means it's in pairing mode. And in my case, it was in pairing mode right out of the box. So as soon as you plug it in, it's in pairing mode. Okay, so the device has been found, and if it's not automatically in pairing mode, you can press the pair button right here and hold it for 6 seconds and it will put it in pairing mode. Either way, we have found the device right here. It's this CK blah blah blah. Let's add that. All right, so now you can see all of my networks popped up here, and I'm gonna go with my main 5G. You're only gonna use 2G for the setup, so let's tap my main 5G, and I'm gonna put the password in. All right, bada boom, bada bing. So now this bad lad now has a constant red light. That means that we are now connected to the network. And I'm gonna change the device name. This one's gonna go on my virtual pinball machine, so I'm just gonna name this device VPin. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so you can see I've renamed it to VPin. It's very simple. Once you hit next, it just prompts you to either keep the name or hit the little pencil icon and change it. So I'm gonna name it VPin. Let's hit done. And now we have a device, VPin, and we're gonna get testing. All right, so now you can see both of my devices are here. We have the Megacade and the VPin. It says the VPin is off, so let's go here. I got it sitting right next to it. When we tap this button, you're gonna hear that it clicks and turns on. Now, we need it to be a momentary press, not a latch and hold. So we have to make that adjustment here. I'm gonna tap it again, that shuts it off. Let's go into the settings and do that. We're gonna hit the top 3 buttons here, and now we are in settings. Now scrolling through settings, you're gonna get to an option down here. It's gonna say inching settings. So we're gonna go into there, and you can see inching, half a second. I think that's the lowest interval. Let's go ahead and tap this little toggle here up top and turn that on. So that means it will now be a momentary press when you touch that button. Let's go into inching. Yep, so the smallest increment is a half a second. We're gonna save that, we're gonna save that. So now when we go back to the device itself, let's push it and see what happens. Boom. So now there is your momentary press switch set up on Wi-Fi. All right, so in order to add it to Google Home or whatever you're using, we're gonna go back into, we're still on that device, right? So let's go to, here's the home page, here's both devices. We're gonna go to the VPin, and then we're gonna go to the settings menu, and then you can see right here, it just gives you these options. Let's choose Alexa. Yeah, so look, it's already added actually, because I added the Megacade to it, so it's automatically added to the Alexa. So let's find out if it works. Alexa, turn on the VPin. All right, so then you could hear it do that. Now let's try this again. Let's see if Alexa works to turn it off, because this was a little bit of a hurdle. I'm gonna get into that next. Alexa, turn off the VPin. All right, see, it will not do it. It's weird because it's a momentary press. So the second that it presses it in the Alexa app, it thinks that it is momentarily pressed and then turned back off. So as it sits after the first command, it thinks that it is off. So when you tell it to turn off, it doesn't send the command to turn it off. So let's get to that part right now. We have the Alexa app open. Here's the device. We're gonna power it on. This is what happens when you send the voice command to turn it on. I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna bring up the voice command on the app, blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna push the button. So if you say, hey, turn the device on, it's gonna do this. You can hear it click and it's on. And then what? Now it thinks the power's off because it did a momentary press, which is exactly what we want. However, the problem is when you send the voice command to turn it off, it thinks it's already off and it won't do it. So we are going to set a routine, and I can probably do that right now. Let's set a routine. We're going to add a routine by hitting the plus sign at the top. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add an event. You're gonna say, when you turn the VPin off, that the actual command is going to turn it on. It doesn't matter because it's a momentary press. You only need it to do it that one time to make the connection on the machine to either power it on or power it off. So let's go ahead and add that. So we're gonna start by hitting the plus sign here, and we're gonna choose voice, okay? Now we're gonna put in our command. Okay, so here are my 2 commands. Turn on the VPin and turn off the VPin. And then we're gonna add the execution here, and we're gonna make them both power on the V pin so that it does a momentary press. Let's add that.
3 hours later.
Now, this part was the biggest pain in the ass that took forever to figure out exactly how to do it. I know I showed you a little bit about routines earlier, but let's just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna pick one of these. So you can see I got Racer 1, Mega for the Megacade, the V pin, Racer 2, test, and I have the turn off test command. So let's open Racer 1, okay? So this is a routine that I have set. Now I have it named. It doesn't matter because the command you're going to give it is going to be the command you're going to give it right here. When you say, and I suggest you have like 4 different renditions of what you say. Turn on Racer 1, turn off Racer 1, turn Racer 1 on, turn Racer 1 off. The reason why you want to have it work and power on that switch with both the on and off command is because it doesn't care and you just want it to have that momentary click. So I've crafted these 4 sayings so that I can control, and then we're going to hit next. And now you're going to see Alexa will power on. I quit saying the damn name. She'll power on Racer 1. Now, I'll show you how I did that. We're going to hit the plus button. So, now that we've added another device, we're going to hit the smart home. We're going to choose plugs, and then you can see Racer 1 is one of the plugs. Choose that to power on. Always power on for this. And then it will add it to it. I already have it there, so let's back out. Okay, so when you say any of those phrases to turn Racer 1 on or off, it will always click power on its special switch because it's just going to be a momentary press, and that'll be the soft shutdown for your computer, which will then shut down the entire machine. Okay, so we're done with that. Now, as far as using all of them together, here's what I had to do. Test, which will soon turn into my barcade command. We're going to open test. Now, you're going to see whenever I say turn on test, that's the only phrase I have there. Turn on test, which will soon be turn on barcade once I get everything installed. Alexa will stop. She will turn on the plug. Every switch and every plug for the Megacade, the V pin, Racer 1, Racer 2, and these 4 bottom are actual smart plugs, so we have to tell it to turn those 4 on. This will all turn on with the test. Now, let's get to turning them off, right? So I have another category called turn off test. This will soon be turned into turn off barcade. Now, you're gonna see the only command I have in here is turn off test, and then you have to go in and your 4 plugs, right? I'm using plugs and momentary switches. The plugs, you're gonna have to tell it to power them off because they switch on and stay on, and then they turn off when you tell them to turn off. And then these 4 on the bottom, you want to add them to this list as a smart device, a plug, and then choose power on. Even though you're telling it to turn off, you're going to choose power on for each one of these 4 because they will be momentary, and that doesn't matter. They don't give a shit. It just wants to be told to power it on real quick so it can do that momentary click. And that is how you group this stupid shit together. I've wasted an entire day, and that's how it's done. So now that everything's on, these think they're on, but they're not, we're gonna tell it to turn off. Alexa, turn off test. There you go. You heard all 4 of those click momentarily. That's gonna be the soft shutdown buttons for whatever arcade you have that turn on and off with 1 button press. And then you saw all 4 of these plugs shut off. Holy shit. I am so glad that's over with. And actually, I'm making this video for myself so I can go back and reference it one day. But you get the point. If you want to have a smaller group of just these things turn on, let's say middle of the afternoon, you don't want to light up the whole game room, you're going to have to add them all to their new routine the way that I just showed you, and you have to pick and choose which one you want in there. And always make sure that when you have the Momentary switch devices controlled, that they are powered on in a power on state when you tell it to turn it off or on. I hope that makes sense. Okay, long day. Let's do some testing with everything set up. I have all 4 of the Momentary switches set up and online and synced with the Amazon app. And then I have 4 of the smart switch, actually the smart plug outlets set up. Everything is synced, which is easy to do. I showed you how to do it with these. These smart plugs are a dime a dozen. You can buy them everywhere. Everyone already knows how to add those smart plugs to their Amazon or their smart things or whatever. All right, so we have everything set up here. I have a test command, so I'm going to make sure everything works. Alexa, turn on test. Okay, I don't know if you heard that. All 4 of these turned on with a momentary press. And you can see the green light is on all 4 of these. And I highly suggest you label all of them. These are the machines that they're going to be going on. And then I also have the ones that these plugs are being trolling. Neon, Golden Tee, Dartboard, my Mortal Kombat 2, right? Okay. You can also control them one by one now. So let's say you don't want to light up the whole game room. Let's just do Alexa, turn on the Mega. All right, so you can see that will now turn on the Megacade. Alexa, turn on the V-Pin. All right. Alexa, turn on Racer 1. Alexa, turn on Racer 2. Okay, you get the idea. If I want to turn them off individually, same thing. Alexa, turn off the Mega. Keep in mind, I only made this video to show you guys how to set this up in your game room for the sole purpose of showing you how to use the Momentary switches, because I couldn't find anything out there really talking about it or anyone that had done it. Maybe there is and I didn't see it, but at least this will give you an explanation of how to set up Momentary press buttons that work with your Google Home and Echo devices and all that stuff. That is the sole purpose of this video. I pulled my hair out so you didn't have to, and you know I love my hair. Okay guys, behind the Megacade here, we're gonna wire in our first switch, and I'm gonna show you guys how I did it. Here we have our module marked Megacade, and you can see I just have 2 pieces of speaker wire in the outer right 2 terminals on this. So that's the 2 that you need to put it in. We got our 5-volt USB, micro USB plug right there. And then once we plug it in, it'll automatically connect back to the internet, and we can use it with voice. And I'll show you where this cable came from. Hold on one sec. Okay, looking at the underside of one of my power switches here, you can see that this is the original power cable I have. That's the jumper there that's gonna do the momentary press on top to turn it on. And all I did was just jump out of those 2 terminals right there. Just crimp in a piece of speaker wire, hit both terminals. It doesn't have to be a work of art. And then it travels all the way down. You can see it running down the side here. Boom, boom, boom. Down through here. And then I have a hole on the back of my machine, and it comes out, and we're just gonna crimp it right into these outer 2 terminals. This essentially is working as a mechanical momentary press button instead of actually having a physical button. It's just gonna make that momentary connection like I've showed you and turn it on. So let's plug it in real quick. I'll get it mounted and we'll give it a test. Okay, so there we have our cube plugged into the wall with a USB cable running all the way to here. And that is plugging into the bottom of our switch. Yes, my USB cable is a piece of shit, but I'm gonna actually get some regular AC wall adapters with some length on them and just make them look pretty. But for now, this is what I'm gonna be using. You can see that it is lit up and we have power. Everything is connected. We have our cables traveling in, our speaker wire traveling in right there, up to the button up there. And we're gonna walk out front. We're gonna give this a shot. Okay, let's finally run a test on this. Everything wired in. Alexa, turn on the Mega. Oh, like a charm. That is awesome. Let's get a little picture on here real quick, just for verification. There we go. I absolutely love this so far. Okay, moving on to the V pin here. Let's check out the back. Okay, a lot going on. If you guys saw my last video about how to add this $17 power strip, that's a smart strip so you can shut down your V pin with the press of one button and turn it on with the press of one button, I'll drop that in the description below. But right here, these red sockets, these are always on outlets. So all I did was plug in an AC adapter with a cable here and ran it up into the front out the coin door. I will show you that right now. So here we have the end of the 5-volt USB that's going to plug into our Momentary switch. And then all I did was tap into the two cables that go into the shutdown button right up here. Where we at? See that power button right there? On the back side of that, you got a couple cables. I just used a couple T-taps and tapped a piece of speaker wire into it so that it can go into our terminals. So that's all we need right here, just the USB and that, and then we're gonna mount the switch inside the cabinet on that acrylic box there. So let me get that done real quick and give it a test. Okay, got the V pin up and running right now. Looking beautiful as always. Everything powered up by default when I put the power cable back in. So we're gonna run a test right now. We have our switch and everything wired in. Alexa, turn off the V pin. Boom. There we go. Did our soft shutdown. It's gonna wait a moment and then it will shut down the entire machine, like I showed you in my previous video with the one button shutdown. And that is basically it. Let it run until it actually shuts everything off. So once the computer is completely shut down, there we go. Everything shuts down. All right, got it in. Got a piece of Velcro on the back side of it. It's just gonna chill there. Nice and neat. So we are all set on the V pin. Everything exactly the way I want it. So now to move on to the other cabs. And they are not done yet. So I don't know if I'll be able to really showcase the racing cabs in here. I don't know if you guys know, but I do have a mod going on. It's gonna be badass. Full review is coming. But you can see my dashes are taken out, all the pedals and stuff. So I will be doing a full review once I get everything back and installed, but you can see my beautiful 32-inch monitors that I put in, these gaming monitors. But maybe I can show a little remote startup, but not really the point of this video. Okay, nighttime is the right time. Threw a little wide angle on. Game room is off. This other lighting is controlled by other stuff. We're gonna light this bitch. Alexa, turn on the game room. Yes, sir. Yes. Everything looks beautiful. Everything on, all the plugs, all of the Momentary switch modules. You can see everything's booting. The neon, got the TVs all linked in with it, the PGA. Again, we just have a couple fire sticks sitting in the old drift cabinets there, doing a little mod. I'll have that video out soon. But this is awesome. I couldn't be happier with this. It took me way too long to actually finally get around to doing this. And it was kind of painstaking to deal with the switch modules, but if you follow this video, it shows you very easily how to do it. And then once you get everything in here, you can group everything in like I've done, create certain routines and stuff so that all this stuff can be turned on with one single command, or you can do it all individually. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That's gonna do it for today. If you haven't checked out my merch store, please do. And if you don't mind, please like, share, subscribe. I try to get back to all you guys. Any questions, whatever, drop them in the comments. And as always, let's lose.